What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back again with another video. Today, we're continuing the Toronto Maple Leafs 2023-2024 player previews with one of the core four. With one of the guys that, who knows, by the time I'm recording this, people might have him in a trade rumor or he might be getting traded. And that's Willie the Kid, Willie Styles, William Nylander, number 88 of your Toronto Maple Leafs. So if you guys are new here, make sure to like this video and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Also, you've only got a couple days left, so please do so. Use my code APH at Manscaped for 20% off. That's code APH at Manscaped for 20% off. You've only got a few days left, and if I get enough codes used, I'll be a full-time sponsor with Manscaped, and that's something that I really want to do. I want to give you guys more content on here. More time I have to do this stuff, the more money I make, the more time I can do and achieve my dream of being a full-time content creator. So make sure to go and do that. I'd greatly appreciate it. But let's get into what you guys want to see here today. Let's get into the meat and potatoes, like I've said in other videos. Let's get into it. This is William Nylander's player preview. Probably one of the most prolific, if not the most prolific guy that everybody's been talking about this offseason. And he's a 27-year-old winger, sniper, centerman, wherever he's going to be playing this season, because he might be playing the center position, as we've learned of, an hour into media day as I'm recording this. But Willie's had a lot of critics, and he's had a lot of people that love him. Now, I'm one of the people that think that William Nylander is too valuable for the Leafs to just give up in terms of just like, oh, well, let's clear his cap hit and we'll get some futures, and maybe we'll get a guy that can give you 25 goals, but, he's cheaper, and, they'll have a couple first-round picks. Like, I just don't agree with that. I've always stated if the Leafs are going to trade William Nylander, and the trade made sense where they were getting better, because the Leafs need to get better, if they're going to get a top two defenseman, or they were going to get a scoring winger or a scoring centerman or a playmaker, two-way defending centerman, sure. But the trade needs to make sense. So if we're talking on the trade rumor side of things, William Nylander needs to be traded for somebody that's going to make this team better. And if not, they need to get that contract situation resolved. And Brad Treliving has said that it's a priority. So we're going to head over to Cap Friendly here. And you can see he's in the last year of that $6.9 million deal, and he's outgrown this deal substantially. He is much better than a $7 million player. Whether you like it or not, he is in the $8.5 to $9 million range in terms of what he could re-sign for. And in the open market, especially if he walks next year, he'll probably be worth 10. And I know a lot of people will disagree with that, but you have to look at the market these days. The ways that the number that players are signing for now is big, substantial numbers, and guys that are producing at a similar clip or less are getting big dollars. And Nylander and his agent are looking at these deals and salivating at the mouth. They know that they have a big opportunity here to cash in, but it's been widely reported that William Nylander wants to stay in Toronto, and Brad Treliving has said, yeah, we want to get this guy signed, as he's a priority. But tick-tock, the clock is going here. The Leafs need to get something done, because if this goes into the season, I don't know if this is going to work out. I don't know what's going to happen, but it's going to be very interesting. Taking a quick break to let you guys know about the sponsor of this video, Manscaped. Hockey season is coming up, and we all know it's important to stay fresh and protected on and off the ice. And well, Manscaped is here to help us do that. I've got the Performance Package 4.0 with me. I've even got my travel bag, and it's perfect for the dressing room. Inside holds the Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer. It features a cutting-edge ceramic blade to help reduce accidents down there using its advanced skin-safe technology. It's also waterproof and has an LED spotlight for a more precise shave. Next up is a game changer, and that is the Weed Whacker Nose Hair Trimmer. The Weed Whacker is also waterproof and has proprietary skin-safe technology. That's going to help nicks, snags, and tugs in those delicate nose holes. You're also getting the Crop Preserver below the waist deodorant and Crop Reviver below the waist toner. And like I mentioned earlier, Manscaped threw in 2 free gifts with the Performance Package 4.0. That is the Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. Get 20% off and free shipping with my code APH at manscaped.com. That's APH for 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Now back to the video. So if we're going to take a look at his numbers, now you can see over his time with the Maple Leafs, this guy has produced every single year. And if you look at the playoffs in total, 40 points in 50 playoff games. He's been a playoff performer. And you know, the last few years, he's been like over a point per game, and the playoffs are just at a point per game. Like, he's been fantastic. And then having that career year this year with 87 points, and he had 40 goals in 47 games. And you can see, like, of course, there was a couple of shortened years because of the pandemic, but he plays like almost every single game. Like, the guy is a gamer. He usually doesn't miss any time. His international numbers are good. Like, I don't think anybody can deny how good William Nylander is and, you know, what his value is offensively. But again, the contract has to make sense. And if we're looking at the team, ignore this 2.9 because they're going to figure it out with sending guys down and whatnot, because they have some guys to send down. You can see the extra forwards. We've been hearing rumors that the Maple Leafs are going to use him at center this year. Now, is that going to be centering the third line? Is that going to be centering a second line? Again, don't worry about what this looks like. I'm just trying to show you guys that, let's say he centers a second line, right? I don't know what they want to do, but I'm wondering if they try to go with something like this, right? And then you have a Sam Lafferty or a Nick Robertson, or do they go with something like this where you have, if you have like Domi up here and then, you know, they mix guys around. I don't know what's going to happen. Again, you'll have a guy like Nick Robertson in the mix here too. Obviously, once they get a clean bill of health from him, if this would actually work. There we go. Like, you could utilize him on one of these lines as well. There's a lot of different options. But I want to show you guys something here, right? This is the goal scorers last year. This is how many goals were scored in the NHL last year. William Nylander is a top 15 goal scorer in the entire NHL. And that's something that doesn't grow on trees. And not every player needs to be that gritty, you know, defensive style, I guess. But there's parts to Willie's game that I think a lot of people like to ignore. And again, I'm not going to sit here and just defend him the whole time. There's definitely times where I'm like super frustrated because I am a fan of William Nylander. As I am every player on this damn team. I'm a Leaf fan, so I'm going to support everybody. But there's some things that Leaf fans kind of ignore when it comes to his game. And if we're going to look at it, if we're looking at giveaways and takeaways, right? So he's second on the team in takeaways. So he takes away the puck from his opponents substantially more than he gives away the puck. And if you look at other guys on this team, the number and the gap is way closer and sometimes way higher. So like this guy, William Nylander, is taking away the puck substantially more than he's giving it away. And if we're looking at his defensive zone giveaways, like he was, well, we're not going to look at that number, but he was pretty damn close to being like middle of the pack when it comes to giving away the puck in the defensive zone. Like Willie was keeping the puck. He was good at exiting his zone. And it's just a little thing that I like to show because I think that Willie actually does a good job of taking the puck away from opponents. He's done it in the neutral zone many times, and it's been pointed out by virtually everybody that watches the team. They know that Willie is very, very good at stripping those pucks. And he bangs a lot of goals in the front of the net, and a lot of people kind of seem to ignore that as well. But there's also things that Willie does that annoys people, like he takes shifts off. There's no question. Like there's times where, the puck will go in the corner and this guy will just loaf it in there. And that pisses me off. Like if I was the coach, I would like staple him to the bench for like 3 straight shifts. Like there's no way that I would let stuff like that happen. But again, like there's a huge amount of people in the NHL that do stuff like that because they know that I scored a goal earlier and like I'm kind of tired. I'm going to be making a change anyway, so I'm just going to do a curl here and get off. Like I wish most players would just give it their all every single shift, but you know that there's guys that don't do that. And unfortunately, we've seen that a few times with Nylander. But then there's these stretches of games where he looks like he's the best player on the ice every shift for like 10 to 15 straight games. Like he goes on these heaters where he's getting like a hat trick and a couple goals and stripping pucks and an overtime winner. And it's like, he has a higher ceiling, and that's hard to believe. Like, he's so much better than he's actually playing like, even though he's already giving us more production than his contract is worth, which he's kind of in this weird spot, and I don't really know how to explain it, but he's been the most intriguing guy to talk about this offseason, and it's probably going to continue if he still doesn't have a contract and the Leafs don't trade him. Like, this is going to go on for the entire season. We're going to have, Saturday headlines on Hockey Night in Canada, or the 32 Thoughts segment, where Elliot Friedman's going to be bringing it up every couple weeks to update Leaf fans. Like, where's Willie's contract? Like, what's going on here? It's going to happen, and it's something that we can't really ignore, but I'm very intrigued to see what happens. And again, Willie impressing or regressing, I think he's going to impress. I think Willie is, especially if he plays some center, that's going to hike up his value a little bit. I actually think he's going to be a 90-point plus player this year. Like, I think he'll have over 90 points, especially in a contract year if he doesn't get that deal right away. So I think he's going to impress this year. So you guys can let me know if you agree or not. I think he's going to be fantastic. But sound off in the comments. This is one of the most prolific guys that we talk about here on this channel. So if you are new here, make sure to like and subscribe. Join the squad. I'd love to have you guys here. Like I mentioned before, make sure to head over to Manscaped. Use my code APH for 20% off and free shipping. I would greatly appreciate that. That's code APH for 20% off and free shipping. I love and appreciate you guys. As always, make sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video or stream. Peace.